So check that out. For now, though, stay safe out there. Stay sane out there. We'll see you soon.
Welcome. It's indisputable. I'm your host, Rashad Ritchie, going to be with you. We have a lot on the agenda today. Breaking down news of the day, we have none other than the mayor of Enfield, North Carolina, my dear brother, Mayor Mondale Robinson, also founder of the Black Male Voter Project and Rebel HQ contributor all-star. Always fascinating to have his analysis. Top story of the day. Donald Trump decides to threaten a judge's daughter. Here it is.
The New York judge in Donald Trump's upcoming hush money trial has made it crystal clear this week that he is not in the mood for any games from the former president or his legal team, banning Trump from attacking prosecutors, witnesses, and jurors. So Trump has found someone new to attack, Judge Juan Merchan's daughter. In a new post tonight, he calls her out by name. Trump goes after her as a, quote, rabid Trump hater because she's done work for Democratic campaigns in the past. He didn't stop there. He also accused her of posting a picture of him behind bars, which Trump says, quote, makes it completely impossible for me to get a fair trial. I should note, however, that is apparently not true. And the New York State court system says that long ago, did Judge Merchan's daughter abandon that Twitter account, and that it's also not linked to her email. Even so, she's a private citizen. She's not party to this case. I should note that the gag order that the judge did put in place earlier this week doesn't apply to himself nor to his family.
Okay, so what do we have here? The judge says, I'm laying out the ground rules. You will not manipulate this proceeding like you have done with other judges. You will not attack prosecutors. You will not intimidate witnesses. In other words, the other judges you have been in front of before, they may have allowed you to get away with these things, but I will not. So he's setting the ground rules. Trump decides, like a 3-year-old, to push the boundaries of everything but what was ordered not to. It is one of the most immature and childish moves you can imagine. Okay, so you can't go left and right. So Trump says, well, I will just go up and down and see what your response is to that. So another federal judge decided to opine in a rare interview on CNN. Here it is.
Well, it's very disconcerting to have someone making comments about a judge, and it's particularly problematic when those comments are in the form of a threat, especially if they're directed at one's family. I mean, we do these jobs because we're committed to the rule of law and we believe in the rule of law, and the rule of law can only function effectively when we have judges who are prepared to carry out their duties without the threat of potential physical harm.
And you know personally, I mean, what this is like. Someone threatened your daughter once as well.
Yes, threatened me one day, and then the next day called and made a threat against my daughter, and also had indicated my address. So they obviously had done some research to find out that I had a daughter and what her name was, and also where I live.
I mean, what's that even? That must be terrifying.
Well, it is, but you kind of have to appreciate that you can't let that impact on how you live your life and how you treat litigants who are before you, because even though threats may be made against you and against your family, you still have an obligation to ensure that everybody who comes into your courtroom is treated fairly, regardless of who they are or what they've done.
That's Judge Reggie Walton, better man than me, Judge. If someone was in front of me who threatened my daughter, and I was the presiding judge, I got some get back for them. But you all are more fair and judicious than I would ever be. Why is Trump doing this? Why are we here? You see, this is a tapestry of missed opportunities. This is a cause and effect of deciding to basically tap dance around the real issue. Let's go back to the US Supreme Court, who basically ruled that Trump can remain an insurrectionist by the standards of the Colorado court. And Colorado has no choice but to allow the insurrectionist to run for president. That set the reciprocation rule in for every other state. Trump is no longer afraid. What does he have to be afraid of? You're not going to be able to fully adjudicate top to bottom, according to him, before the election is final. If you attempt to, his lawyers will engage in duck, dodge, deny, deflect like they've done in the Fulton County case with Fonnie Willis, effectively putting the elected DA on trial. Do you realize the elected DA has given more testimony than the defendants in the Trump case? How is this possible? They are exploiting the system to buy time, to kick the can down the road. And the road is not very long because we're looking at November. Trump believes that in November, no matter what happens, all will be settled. Why? Because people like Charlie Kirk and others are saying if Trump doesn't win, not if somebody steals the election, not if there's an overthrow of democracy, not if the voters are not heard, but if Trump does not win, be ready to fight. You see, Trump has already proven that he can gather a group of individuals to do a test run to overthrow the government and potentially hang the then vice president of the United States. Donald Trump has already proven that he is de facto the leader of half of the states in this country by telling governors, Republican governors, what to do about the border. He is in control of the Congress by telling members of Congress, the Republicans, do not sign a bipartisan bill before I become president again. And all of them, without him having an ounce of government power, all of them adhered to his demands. This is why we are here. So he is emboldened to now threaten the very children of federal judges. His cronies will say nothing. They are feckless leaders. Those who support him, who would not stand by and allow, let's say, a Joe Biden, President Biden, do the same to another judge, will sit by and allow this to happen from Donald Trump. This is their cult leader. He is able to do what no one else can. All right, Mayor Mondale, thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is just a continuation of the right showing us that they no longer have a spine or a moral code or compass. Donald Trump pushed God like it's a product, like it's his old musty steaks. And in this case, he can threaten daughters. And people think this is a small thing, but it's not. We saw people, the FBI had to step in and stop some of Trump supporters who were about to kidnap the governor of Michigan in real life. I'm currently not able to spend nights in my house because of threats from the KKK in this world in 2024. So these words of politicians, and Trump know his followers, like you said, cult members will do whatever he say. Literally are doing more than sounding dog whistles when he show up in this manner, and people pretending that this does not have an effect. And I appreciate the judge's comments on CNN, but I can't say that as a person who is currently facing threats, death threats, and also in elected office. It definitely affects how I live. So when he said you can't allow it to affect you, you have to if you are human. And it's not human to expect people not to be affected by death threats to their loved ones. And we know what this means. The mob used to do this. And Donald Trump is no different in his behavior at this point.
100%. Obviously, there will be updates as the trial draws near. We will bring those updates to you. Okay, hell of a thing happened. Well, a woman decided to confront the teacher for allegedly ridiculing the student. Here it is.
Do you realize that he was being falsely accused of something? A grown-up approached him, and you ridiculed him?
I'm sorry. I'm not real sure.
My name is Peyton Jackson. You probably should speak to his parents. You shouldn't talk to a child like that. That adult.
Are you a parent?
That adult. Yeah, I am a parent.
Okay.
That adult approached him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You should never speak to a child ever like that again. That's funny? How was that funny?
No, I really don't think that you should be talking to me like that.
No, you just ridiculed a child.
You're getting loud.
Yeah, I am, because what you just did was
Can I get a
unacceptable.
third party here?
Please.
Yeah.
What was her name? What was her name?
You want me to go get him, Mr. Means?
What was her name?
I'm gonna go with the officer so you can talk to him.
So you don't want to tell me the teacher's name that just walked away? Mrs. who?
Izagiri.
Izagiri.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
The woman standing up for the student is Peyton Jackson. She has more to say. Here it is.
Don't you ever speak to a child like that ever again. Don't you ever speak to a child like that ever again. Don't you ever talk to a child like that ever again. You're disgusting. You're disgusting. You're disgusting. You're disgusting.
Go ahead.
You're disgusting. You're disgusting. Ma'am, I'm sitting down. Move around. I got this. I got this. Move around. Move around. Don't tell me what to do. I got this. You should have been protecting that black child that she was yelling at. That's what you should have been doing. Move around. Move around. Move around. Move around. Move around. I'm calm. Move around. Move around. Move. Move. Walk away. 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 I'm not doing nothing to you. Move around. Okay, we'll go move around. Why are you still standing by me? I am calm. I am calm. Just walk away from me. I'm not doing anything to you. I'm not even standing up. I'm sitting down. Okay, well, go away. Move around. You should have been protecting that black child that she was yelling at. What y'all condone here is disgusting. And I'm glad that my child isn't going here. But move around. And I'm serious about that. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Go find something to do.
Then there's an encounter with the office manager at the school. Here it is.
What's her name in the blue dress? Do you know?
Name.
What is it?
Name.
Your name is Name?
Name. My name is Name.
Your name is Name?
Name.
Okay, that was real clever. That was real. That's what you thought.
Yeah.
What you thought I was gonna do?
I don't know what you.
Oh, baby, I don't have a violent bone in my body. But I asked you for your name.
If I was you, I would
It was
move around.
Brady.
If I was
I'm
you, I would
not
move
being
around.
a. She walked up to me.
I'm asking, can I please talk to you?
I don't have to move around.
This ain't what you want.
This ain't never what you want, babe. Ain't never what you want. Oh, okay. Go to your office.
The office manager, according to the report, is Lauren Brady. And here's the rest of the conversation with security.
Did you see what she did to that black boy?
Ma'am,
Did you see what she did to the black boy?
that's been addressed. Okay.
By who?
Okay, it's been addressed.
By the parents?
It's been addressed. It's gonna be notified to all the parents. But
Okay, go
I will let
ahead.
you
She's been unprofessional. She just walked away and said, move around. This ain't what you want.
Ma'am, if you want to file a formal complaint, you go to 9400.
I will.
Okay?
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
So more than anything, I want to know what the issue is between the other parent. Aside what happened in the morning, I want to know what happened just now.
I told her that it was inappropriate for her to talk to a child that way.
Okay.
Because nobody was standing up for the child, not even the teachers.
Okay.
DISD for you. DISD for you. They didn't even stand up for that black child. Every single adult here said nothing, and that's disgusting. What if it was your child? Don't tell me you're a token. Please don't tell me you're a token. What if it was your child?
All right. She's in training, so
Do you have a child? Okay.
Didn't know how to respond. Does not compute my profession and my personal at odds. Put up the picture full mass. She filed a complaint, all right. It's called with indisputable. Peyton Jackson entered the hallway at a school located in the Dallas Independent School District. In the comments of the post, she confirmed that the incident happened at Arcadia Park Elementary. According to the school's website, Joanne Zager teaches at the 4th grade level at the school. Based on the name tag shown in the clip, the woman on the left is Lauren Brady, office manager. Lauren Greer is the principal at Arcadia Elementary. Currently, there has been no statement issued by the school on their website or on social media pages. Indisputable is seeking a response to what happened. Now, we don't know all of the details, but we do know that seemingly based on context, there was a child being scolded for something that they should not have been scolded for, spoken to inappropriately, and a parent stood up and said, this is incorrect, this is wrong, this is inappropriate, this should not happen. It's a very beautiful thing. Let me say why. Put up the picture again of the parent who said something about a child that wasn't hers. You remind me of somebody. Ms. Jackson, you remind me of my adoptive mother. I was in the 8th grade and I was scheduled to go back to foster care. And they were having a conversation about me, unknown to me, about how they were going to break the news to me. Well, a teacher who had absolutely no obligation to take care of me, named Nicole Tatum. She said, I will adopt him. And everybody was shocked. This isn't your child. You don't know him. You have no obligation. But it took a stranger standing up for me when I could not stand up for myself. I want to tell you thank you. Regardless of what conflict may have happened, the child that heard you speaking up for them would never forget the advocacy you provided. And because of that, I promise you, the seed you planted that day, that child one day will become an advocate for others. All right, Mayor Mundell, thoughts here.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions. We watched the security guard walk the parents that said something to the kid whose side the teachers took. against this kid. How are these parents in the hallway while people's children are being moved to and from, and also so much so that you can have interaction with other people's kids? First of all, that's the first thing. Secondly, there seems to be a culture of not caring and being very defensive when people point out problems. Well, what we just witnessed was a couple things, Dr. Richie, if I can. The first thing is why we see so many Black boys are over suspended and expelled in our school system, regardless of who's running them. We just witnessed one of the reasons. People have a high tolerance for the suffering of Black kids, especially little Black boys. We also witnessed how little Black boys wind up in special needs class at higher rates than any other demographic. Right there. And then we witnessed something deeper with the Black woman who's in training and the Black woman who walked up with the blue dress, whose name is Name. We just witnessed how white supremacy is also a problem for folk that look like us. This is the long history of Black people supporting systems that are killing our communities. These Black people are the reason Sister Harriet Tubman had a gun. Because sometimes it be your own folk.
Man. You spoke truth, dear brother. Hopefully we get a response quickly from the school so we can update the story for those who are interested in knowing what happened. All right. Well, we saw this coming. So the policy directive when if Trump becomes president again, is to protect white people from woke policies, to protect white people from Black and brown people. Put up the picture full mass. Hell of a story here, but true. Per Axios, close allies of Donald Trump want to dramatically change the government's interpretation of civil rights era laws if Trump returns to the White House. The overhaul would focus on, quote, anti-white racism. That's going to be the new thing. Anti-white racism rather than discrimination against people of color. Keep up his picture. They're admitting that racism exists. Now, before they said racism does not exist, that America is not a racist country, that America has never been a racist country, that America was not built on racist principles, but all of a sudden, they're now embracing that racism is probably an actual thing. But it's racism against white people. A CBS poll last November found that 58% of Trump supporters or Trump voters believe people of color have an advantage. So damn near 60% of Trump voters believe that Black people have Black privilege. And that this Black privilege gives us a particular advantage in the workplace and in education. While just 9% of Biden voters said the same. The poll also showed, however, that Trump is gaining support among Black and Latino voters. That's because many of them are disinterested in the failed leadership of Biden, especially as it relates to things like humanitarian efforts and being decisive here in America. Trump's Justice Department will push to eliminate or upend programs in government and corporate America that are designed to counter racism that has favored whites. Targets would range from decades-old policies aimed at giving minorities economic opportunities to more recent programs that began in response to the pandemic and the killing of George Floyd. Trump campaign spokesperson said, quote, as President Trump has said, all staff, offices, and initiatives connected to Biden's un-American policy will be immediately terminated. They added, President Trump is committed to weeding out discriminatory programs and racist ideology across the federal government. Longtime aides and allies preparing for a potential second Trump administration have been laying legal groundwork with a flurry of lawsuits and legal complaints, some which have been successful. Now, if you remember, I said this was coming. There were people on the left who agreed with the Supreme Court's ruling about affirmative action. I encourage you to read my op-ed about the ruling, because in my op-ed, I spell out the reality of the ruling clearing the way for this, what you see today, to happen. You see, sometimes you have to look at a ruling in the context of the strategy of the other side. They're playing chess and we're playing checkers. We think it's about the move, and to them, it's about positioning. And in checkers, you use your power to gain that position. In chess, you use position to gain power. And they have been positioning different court cases, different rulings have come down with the agreement by some on the left, because in context, they benefit the right. Put it up full mass. Axios reports that the central vehicle for the effort has been America First Legal, founded by former Trump aide Stephen Miller. He's back. Who has called the group of conservatives long-awaited answer to the ACLU, end quote. America First cited the Civil Rights Act of 1964 in a lawsuit against CBS and Paramount Global for what they argued was discrimination against Brian Beneker, a white straight man who was a writer for the CBS show SEAL Team in 2017. Axios reports that also in February, the group filed a civil rights complaint against the NFL over its Rooney Rule, named for Dan Rooney, a late owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which requires teams to interview at least 2 minority candidates for vacant general manager, head coach, and coordinator positions. You got to think about how extreme this is. Keep the picture up. They're saying, listen, we don't want you even interviewing a certain number of black or brown candidates for the position. We don't want you even to interview them, let alone hire them. So if they're successful at saying you don't have to interview them, naturally, they can make the argument there's no need to have a hiring mandate or a diversity protocol whatsoever, because once again, obviously that's racist to white people, but racism only exists against white America, according to them. The group argued that, and this is a quote, given the limited time frame to hire executives and coaches after the season, this results in fewer opportunities for similarly situated, well-qualified candidates who are not minorities. I mean, damn, they're only saying you got to do two. Two. 2021, Miller's group successfully sued to block the implementation of a $29 billion pandemic-era program for women and minority-owned restaurants, saying it discriminated against white-owned businesses. Quote, this ruling is the first but crucial step towards ending government-sponsored racial discrimination, Miller said then. Follow the tapestry. Other Trump-aligned groups are preparing for a future Trump Justice Department to implement or challenge policies on a broader scale. The Heritage Foundation's well-funded Project 2025 envisions a second Trump administration ending what it calls affirmative discrimination. I mean, you have to give it to them. They are really on point with this branding stuff. Affirmative discrimination. There's more. Put them up. Part of the plan written by former Trump Justice Department official and America First Legal's general counsel, Gene Hamilton, argues that, quote, advancing the interest of certain segments of American society comes at the expense of other Americans. He's talking about white people. And in nearly all cases violates longstanding federal law, end quote. Such groups have gained momentum with the Supreme Court's turn to the right, most notably the recent rejection of affirmative action in college admissions. It already has permeated to college scholarships. The court ruled that programs designed to benefit people of color and address past injustices discriminate against white and Asian Americans. In 2021, a federal judge blocked a $4 billion grant program to help black farmers, even though black farmers were discriminated against specifically by this government. Earlier this month, another federal judge ruled that the Commerce Department's Minority Business Development Agency was discriminating against white people and that the program had to be open to everyone. Here we are. It's right in front of you. Trump's America. Are you still questioning what Make America Great Again means to them? It's make America white again. Make America white, male, and dominated again. Let's be very clear about the founding of this country. This country was founded on the principles of being able to own another group and silencing everyone who did not have money and wealth and who happened to, not be white. You had to be a white male that owned property to participate in government. You see, the country was founded on the principles of insecurities. I know some of you may get offended by that because I'm talking about the founding fathers of the nation. But keep this in mind. Anyone who starts anything, a company, a nation, they say the only people that can have any say-so are people that look like this and have this kind of wealth. Well, we will call that an oligarchy, right? Well, that's how the nation was started. It was started by those individuals and they wanted to maintain it. Anytime you create a constitution based on the constitution of the men who are biased, that document known as the Constitution will reflect their personal constitution. And their personal constitution was clearly biased. It clearly did not want everyone to participate. And it clearly created the DNA of this nation. So what are we fighting today? We're fighting against the DNA of the country. This is nature versus nurture. Can America be nurtured away from the nature of its founding? I believe it can be, but it takes all of us fighting together in a coalition to make it happen. Mr. Mayor, thoughts?
Listen, how are we, at all surprised when we have to really consider how anti-Black America is? Let me say that again. America has always been anti-Black. Why is Mondale making woke about Black? Well, because woke is not a new word. In 2010, white folk found about woke and what it meant. And they decided after Erykah Badu told people to stay woke, that they had to do something that was anti-woke because it had something to do with liberal policies. But for those of us who have been paying attention, woke has been a part of our vocabulary, African-American vernacular, since 1923, when Marcus Garvey said, wake up Ethiopia, wake up Africa, wake up all of the Black world. Right? Reminding people that if you pretend to be asleep about those things that are killing you, they will continue to kill you and tell people that you enjoyed it. 1940, the Negro Mine Workers United said, we were asleep, but now we are awoke and we awake and we'll stay woke, right? In the 60s, we heard Black people telling people, if you're woke, you dig it. And meaning that if you pay attention to what white America is doing to you, then you can see it and you can't deny it, right? 1938, the blues singer Ledbetter about the Scott Boys told Black people stay woke or they'll kill your kids. Something they had nothing that they weren't responsible for, but they will be held accountable for. And we've got a long history of Black people being woke. So when you see this anti-woke policy, you just saying anti-N-word. We know what you're saying. It sounds better to call it anti-white racism because America was founded on this idea that Black people had no rights, that white people were obligated to deal with or acknowledge. So Donald Trump talking about make America great again when we know there was never a time when America had laws that included as many people as it do now. So what you're really saying is make America great for white people only again. And that is right in line with being anti-woke. Black people having the right to stand up for things that are inequitable and unjust towards them. So I'm not surprised that Donald Trump and his cronies have a plan to take us back to that time where Dr. Richie, you and I, and the producer of this show, Jordan, don't have rights that white men need to listen to.
That's right. That's right. They're trying to create a permanent underclass in this societal construct known as America. And if they have their way, they will. All right, we'll bring you updates as they come. We got more on the other side. It's indisputable. Stick and stay. Indisputable exclusive. Exclusive, disputable, exclusive. We brought you this first. No other news agency has this video. No other news agency has this story.
Every week on Indisputable, we do original, exclusive, investigative reporting you'll find nowhere else.
Our reports have been viewed by millions. Hosted by Sean King, Ben Crump, Senator John Ossoff.
You, through your investigative reporting, unearthed very troubling allegations about specific forms of abuse and discrimination in the federal prison system.
We catching these cases on camera. Just imagine the things that we don't see.
Our groundbreaking investigations and exclusive interviews bring you the real voices no one else wants you to hear. We tell the stories.
Imagine a prison that is so racist, the corrections officers contact me. That is a life or death situation being created. A black woman who was driving for Uber was allegedly assaulted by a white male passenger. After we got involved, roughly 24 hours later, the police all of a sudden opened up an investigation. What was going through your mind when bullets were simply flying inside of your vehicle?
Honestly, I thought I was going to die.
Did these officers ever say that you fit the description of somebody they were looking for? Did they say that?
Never.
Okay, that means they lied.
And we want you to be part of our truth-telling movement. Send pictures and video of stories no one else is telling and a 1 or 2 paragraph summary of the story to Indisputable's exclusive tip line at indvideos@tyt.com.
If you have more information about what's happening at this particular facility, please let me know.
Together, we're challenging the system, and together, we're making a difference.
I have the entire background to this story, and it is going to make your blood boil.
Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, unveiling the truth, empowering the people. Weekdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific.
Today we're going to be speaking with Cenk Uygur, host of The Young Turks and also author of the new book, Justice is Coming.
Author of the brand new book that we have here, Justice is Coming.
How progressives are going to take over the country and America is going to love it.
His new book is out now, Justice is Coming.
Cenk Uygur, he's got a book out.
I encourage every progressive and non-progressive to read it.
Very interesting, very thought-provoking.
2 main ideas. 1, that progressives are correct on these kind of policy issues. And 2, America is actually a very progressive country.
And it's a powerful read.
This will be banned in Florida. By the way, that would be kind of awesome. There's no question we're going to win in the long run. The country's that progressive?
You have given me hope, Cenk.
I do see you as a voice of reason on the left, and I hope people will check out your book.
It's for outsiders, and it's for progressives and populists that are looking to overthrow this system.
You need this book in your house.
They tell you that change is not possible, hope is not possible, justice is not possible. Do not believe their lies. Change always wins. And then we take off like a rocket. tyt.com/justice.
All right, welcome back. Always good to be with you. We got a lot of comments. I will read as many as I can. That Creative Dragon says, why shouldn't he believe it? I'm sure he feels bulletproof. Yeah. And Zafad Beeblebrox. Good for her. They are trying to antagonize her and Shane Bite. Yeah. That's right. Talking about the woman that confronted the teacher for being inappropriate to the student. Wolfgang Donna. Why doesn't MAGA just call it whites first instead of America first? That's their whole point. Listen, the day is young. All right, they're inching toward that. All right, and Lady F&T, member 8 months, thank you so much. He just goes lower and lower. He has no conscience, and yet people love him. It boggles the mind. Where the hell are we? Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone, okay? That's where we are. I told you guys this 2 years ago. We're in the Twilight Zone. Deal with it. And, yep, Scott Briggs. I had a teacher like this back in the 5th grade or so, would ridicule and abuse students verbally. I think they got multi-complaints, and they fired her later on. She didn't even take that many complaints, right? And Scott Smith, do those Trump supporters know about black privilege for black drivers who get fewer tickets at night versus the daytime? I mean, point to some statistical data where we can understand this black privilege thing, all right? Okay. C. Michael Henson. Thank you, C. Michael. Stephen Miller looks like he could use some woke policies in his life. He be looking real sleepy all the time. Yeah. I think this is Starlet Spates. Thank you. Welcome to Indisputable. And James Thompson. Thank you, dear brother, for gifting these memberships. Game Queen 81. Welcome. The Jack. Welcome. And James Thomas. Welcome. Miss Ray. Welcome. Douglas Cheeks. Welcome. And Twitch. Yep. I think this is 8 Signs 2074. Thank you, Mayor. You are expressing my thoughts. He is nothing more than a modern day mob boss. Yep, that's right. And Barely Funky, helping the poor, curing disease. No. Ending DEI, yes. They made this whole thing racial. The whole damn thing is racial because of them. Not solving any other problems. All right, got something for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish a Karen would.
Okay, then why would you pour them a cocktail?
I'm not pouring them a
You actually did. You poured it into the green Solo cup, and then you poured it into the green Solo cup, and then you handed it to the girl in the black bikini. I watched the entire time. Why would you do that?
I did not do that.
Okay, why would you do that?
Who's holding it?
Okay, it's in the cup holder when they saw me spin around. So my question to you again is, I watched you pour from the Tito's bottle into the green Solo cup.
And
Hold on.
holding the cup?
Hold the green Solo cup that you handed to the girl in the black. Why would you do that?
I did not pour.
Yes, you did. Why would you do that?
I only poured this
No,
in this
you
cup.
didn't. No, you didn't. Why would you do that?
Yes, I did.
Why would you do that?
I didn't.
You did. So go grab your ID, and you're under arrest for possession of alcohol and for providing a minor alcohol.
I did not even
you
do
did.
that.
I'm not blind. I watched you do it.
Do you have it on videotape?
Go get your license before I put
Do you have it on videotape?
Go get your license for the last time.
Okay, I got more video. So at this point, he has her absolutely dead to the wrong, okay? She's pouring alcohol for minors from the damn bottle that says, I'm alcohol. And all he's asking for is the ID. Typically, that means he's going to write a ticket, right? There's more. Here it is.
Yes.
Wait, what happened, sir?
Go away. Go get your ID.
No, stop.
You're gonna give her a ticket?
Yes.
But you can't arrest
I can.
her. You can, but don't.
I can.
We're just having fun.
I don't care. I don't need your help. Go get your ID.
Excuse me, that's my daughter. And
I don't care who she is. She's over the age of 18. She can talk to you after I'm done.
Well, so we'll get a lawyer, and I want to
You're more than welcome to get yourself a lawyer.
now.
Go get one.
What happened?
None of your business.
She gave underage alcohol.
Who?
I don't know.
something. I just overheard.
I'm not here to argue with you, and I'm not here to fight with you.
I just want to know what's happening.
She provided alcohol to 3 minors.
But how do you know she's underage? Do you know she's underage?
You don't think those 3 girls are underage?
I could think that.
Okay. Would you like me to prove it?
What if she's not?
Young lady in the black. How old are you? Yes. There we go. She's 15.
Oh, all right. I didn't know.
Oh, sir, now the officer has confirmed the age, which means she's probably going to jail now. Contributing to the delinquency, not only of 1 minor, but of 3. The officer told her, just get your ID. Go get your ID, okay? Come back. Here's what happened.
I have every intention of it, but I'm not going to argue with everybody here on this sandbar.
I mean, that's your job. You know what I mean?
If she doesn't come over here within the next 30 seconds, I'm putting her in jail.
I'll go here.
Hurry up. No, we're done.
No.
No. I'm done.
Give her a minute.
Excuse me.
Come on, dude. She has to wear her license. She has to wear it for your permit. She's getting her ID, man.
Sure I can. Come on. Sure, let's go. Come on.
No.
Come on.
Officer, stop.
Come on.
Dude.
Come on. Come on.
Are you serious?
Come on.
Can I just get my ID?
Come on. I'm not.
Your ID.
Excuse me.
Don't resist. Don't resist.
For real. Here, let go.
Can I just get my ID?
No, Karen, you can't just get your ID. He requested the ID, then you left and had a conversation with people. Ignoring the request, the officer already said you're under arrest and allowed you to walk away to get your ID. Now, we've never seen that before. Mayor Mundell and I, we have never seen that move before, okay? He said you're under arrest and then go get your ID. I'll wait over here for you. And you didn't do that. You left to have a conversation. And here's what happened next.
Nope.
Why?
Come on, bro.
Step off.
Don't push her.
Step off.
Wait, but where's the...
Come on, let's go.
Can you...
Come on.
Excuse me. Just don't.
You're under arrest now, too.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. No, you're done too.
Right
Let's
now?
go.
What the are you doing right now, sir? Please stop. I swear to God, please stop. Can you let me show you my ID? Please stop.
I'm telling you right now, you are under arrest also.
Stop. Please stop. I swear to God. Please stop. You are not doing anything wrong.
Climb up.
I'm right here, girls. I'm right here with you.
Climb up.
I promise you I'm not doing anything.
Why you gotta be like this?
Do not
Stop.
Stop fighting him. Stop fighting him.
Stop. You're acting
Hey,
weird.
stop
Go.
fighting. My job is here.
I don't care. Go up. Go up. Go up. Go up.
Officer, right now. Female officer, right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Sure.
Put up the picture for a mask. Officer, I don't know your name, sir, but you're a damn hero. You have the courage of Aquaman, sir. You arrested a cackle of Karens, a mother-daughter duo, and you had no backup. Sir, I don't know what your future goals are in life, but you need to become the chief of Ocean Police or wherever you were. It was fascinating because literally the man kept giving them opportunity after opportunity. He told the family, I'm not going to arrest, I'm going to write a ticket. That's my plan. I'm going to write a ticket. All she has to do is bring me her ID. I'm going to write her a ticket. She's already contributing to the delinquency of minors. I'm going to write a ticket just to make sure she knows this is not a game. You don't do that. These are children. They're in water. You're giving them liquor. They could injure themselves or die. Already giving them a break from the get-go multiple times. And then the mother coming in and see, we already see where the initial Karen got it from. And this officer handled it quite well. It seems like he was raised around possibly some Karens in his family, and he knew exactly how to handle the situation quite well. Fearless, I must add. Mayor Mondale, thoughts here?
Listen, this is the king of Baywatch right here, man.
That's the king, man.
We got to start a new series. Like, listen, right. The privilege in this video, though. I mean, first of all, you lied to him. Right. You lied by your.
Usually, that's the deal breaker. That's it.
That's the deal breaker.
Yeah.
He still let you go. He said, "Come back. I'm gonna give you." You go over there. You sit there. You playing games with him. Then that first Karen, after she snatched the purse from officer, I didn't do anything. You're actually, and this is the first time I'm looking at somebody that should be arrested for nothing other than, whatever they use against black men all the time, resisting arrest or something like that. I'm watching it happen in real time. Yeah, I think these people had a rude awakening. And also, if your kids are there watching you, and that's going to be your excuse not to be arrested, then you should use that behavior in being delinquent. You should not be being delinquent in front of your kids, setting bad habits. If you're already giving your kids alcohol at 15, you're telling them when you're not around to be as dangerous and as dumb as drinking on boats when you're 15.
Yeah.
So lock them up.
Yeah, he handled it well. I mean, what else was he going to do at that point? All right, double dose.
You want to call the police on him for having a barbecue on a Sunday?
You're still free. Back off!
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Like, I'm sorry. Who you talking to? I'm talking to you. No, I'll knock you out, dude. All right. Straight up and down, man. I'll bust your whole face open. Yeah, stupid as well. So you gonna punch your 16-year-old buddy? No, I'll get my 16-year-old son to bust your face open. How about that? That's really cool. Like, I haven't said anything. I'm trying to be respectful. You're being a Brad, go on the hill. Go on the hill. Father, tell me to say that to my face. Oh, my God. I'm not even straight up and down. When you out of here, I got my 16-year-old son. I got this all. I got this all.
Sir, put up the picture full mask. You're an adult male wanting to fight a child. And then when he reminds you, hey, jerk, I'm 16. What's wrong with you? Your response is, I get my 16-year-old then to come and knock you out. Sir, that's illegal too. Probably even more so because you've engaged in basically putting out a hit on someone using a minor. What in the hell is going on at this gaming competition or whatever it is? You're probably too old to be there, sir. If you fit. Mr. Mayor, thoughts, man. I don't understand what could have happened to bring this kind of smoke out of this guy.
I know what it is. Listen, COD is Call of Duty, right? So all these guys all of them think they're snipers and hunters, and they never been to the military. Mostly it's fine because it's kids playing this game. But if you look at that dad, he dressed just like them. He missed his 30s, 20s, and teenage years when his best years. He still got on headphones and a book bag about to fight a 16-year-old over Call of Duty. You, sir, are winning.
Right.
Like Trump style winning.
Right, and you're wearing shades inside. All right, we got more on the other side. It's indisputable, stick and stay.
Now I'm gonna do something very different here and read some one-star reviews of the Young Turks on Apple Podcasts. Donnie Franchise said, pretty much it's like listening to a trash compactor. Someone else said, negative, anti-American propaganda. And others said, out of context, misquotes, typical leftists who are afraid to debate, just smear. These two would be perfect for CNN or MSLSD. Well, Donnie, you might have a point, because I feel like a trash compactor right now after taking in all those garbage reviews. But thanks for listening anyway. We are, in fact, unapologetically progressive. And if you're not ready for bold commentary, then we're not the show for you. On the Young Turks, we speak up about the issues that matter and we want to make positive change happen. And now here's why we actually do the show. Mariel Morales said, found this podcast from the True Crime Podcast, Fruit Loops, and other great progressive podcasts. I've become an instant fan of the Young Turks. Great conversation, great takes, very well composed, factual podcast, very informative. Love to hear that. Z55 said, it's a joy to experience such awareness and intelligence from fascinating people. And Anna is gorgeous and brilliant. Apparently I'm just fascinating, but I'll take it. Paul for Progress said, news well delivered. Appreciate it. KOOK said, Democrats and Republicans are fair game for TYT, and if Anna or Cenk provide disinformation about anything, they will admit they made a mistake and correct it. We appreciate you noticing that we are honest. To people who actually listen to the substance of the show, thank you. Your listenership supports what we do. Leave a 5-star rating for the Young Turks on Apple Podcasts. Let's take the ratings back from the trolls.
Today we're going to be speaking with Cenk Uygur, host of The Young Turks and also author of the new book, Justice is Coming.
Author of the brand new book that we have here, Justice is Coming.
How progressives are going to take over the country and America is going to love it.
His new book is out now, Justice is Coming.
Cenk Uygur, he's got a book out.
I encourage every progressive and non-progressive to read it.
Very interesting, very thought-provoking.
Two main ideas. One, that progressives are correct on these kind of policy issues. And two, America is actually a very progressive country.
And it's a powerful read.
This will be banned in Florida. By the way, that would be kind of awesome.
There's no question we're going to win in the long run.
The country's that progressive?
You have given me hope, Cenk.
I do see you as a voice of reason on the left, and I hope people will check out your book.
It's for outsiders, and it's for progressives and populists that are looking to overthrow this system.
You need this book in your house.
They tell you that change is not possible, hope is not possible, justice is not possible. Do not believe their lies. Change always wins. And then we take off like a rocket. TYT.com/justice.
Not the shirt you're wearing.
Pretty much speaks for itself. What's the penalty for treason? Death. Everything was phenomenal under Donald Trump, and now it's Obama calling the shots right now. It ain't Biden.
So it's Obama calling the shots?
I believe so. None of this would be happening if they hadn't stolen the 2020 election from Trump and we the people.
We've been around for about 20 years, and we have about 20 billion views. Am I proud of that? Hell yeah, I am. We put out 20 billion messages in a bottle. Have we helped to move now 2 generations, millennials and Gen Z, to become progressive? Yes, those numbers are real. We moved generations. Were we the only ones? Of course not. But we have been the largest online news show for now decades.
All right, welcome back. We got a lot of show left. Let me read some of these amazing comments. I appreciate everyone for joining the combo. All right, yeah. Mo Fury says, if the boat cop has to get his ladder out, then your day is over. I know if you got to make him walk in that water, it's over with. Somebody is going to jail. All right. Angel Rodriguez looks like resisting as well, Karen. Definitely. And I wonder were the charges like really long because of all the, back and forth resisting arrest, obstruction, delinquency of a minor, And I'm sure there's some water crimes that were committed here. Okay, yeah, you're right. Abortionist B, Daughter Dragon. Did he then threaten to shoot everyone in the room? Terroristic threats? Someone say arrest? That's right. Did he realize he was outside of the simulation? Okay. All right, and Mark, why is this adult fighting over video games? Sir, you utilized the word incorrect. It's not an adult, sir. It's not an adult here. Okay. Not an adult. And Twitch, Thomas Anakin. It's hard to side with any of these cops, but between Karen Privilege and Doc's commentary, this is the best thing I've seen all day. And when I was going through it in production, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, Karen, just get your damn ID. You won't make the show. Get the ID. Rooting for you here. Couldn't do it. All right. Hell of a story, hell of an update. Missouri Attorney General wants to charge a teen in a viral moment, put up the big full mask. A teen who got into a fight, it went viral, wants to charge the teen as an adult, okay? And there's more backstory involved. So per Atlanta Black Star, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is being called out for insinuating diversity, equity, and inclusion policies contributed to the viral video that left a 16-year-old Kaylee Gain unconscious. That's the insinuation. Gain's family provided an update Friday on her condition, saying she is now stable. She is breathing on her own. The family lawyer, Brian Kimmerer, shared that, quote, in the past few days, Kaylee has been able to engage in limited verbal conversations. We're glad that she is recovering. The physical altercation, which made national headlines between Gain, a white teen, and Mernice Declu, a 15-year-old black student, occurred near Hazelwood East High School on March 8th, with other local leaders quick to condemn the incident, which was captured on video. It shows the young Marnice slamming the young Gaines head into the pavement. Everybody saw that. That slam resulted in a fractured skull. Later, Marnice, who was identified by parents in a Change.org petition, was taken into custody and charged with assault. Marnice's attorney revealed Gain was suspended from school the day before the brawl. And the Gain family confirmed this. This separate fight with another individual was the precursor to the fight that left her hospitalized. The petition called on officials, specifically Chief Juvenile Officer Rick Gaines, to review her case with compassion, adding she was harassed and bullied at school and was only defending herself. In response to the incident, Bailey said that Marnice should be, quote, tried as an adult, end quote. A sentiment shared also by Gaines' family due to, quote, the particularly violent nature of this assault, and also taking into account the devastating injuries that Kaylee has incurred, reported KSDK. A hearing is expected to take place in early April as the teen is still being held in custody at a juvenile facility. Last week, Bailey, a Republican, sent a letter to Hazelwood School District and announced that he's spearheading a probe to examine how its radical DEI programs resulted in such despicable safety failures. He is referring to the statement of solidarity that was implemented in 2020 after George Floyd's murder to, quote, seek to achieve greater equity and eliminate systemic racism and harm to our students, staff, and community. So he's blaming that statement on what happened. And he's saying, I'm going to spearhead an investigation because that's the reason this whole thing has happened. He's simply making a political play here, throwing red meat to the base that's clueless and basically like zombies. And they would eat anything as long as you cover it in DEI, and he knows this. All right, so Bailey said during the interview with Fox News, safe haven for all things racist, quote, Hazelwood owes the parents of the district and the entire community an explanation as to what role these radical programs and safety failures played here. Bailey added that the school has DEI programs that promote racial divisiveness at the expense of having uniformed police officers present on campus. However, officials debunked his allegations and other inaccuracies in a scathing response, noting that the incident took place outside of school hours and it wasn't even on the campus. So even if you had, more resource officers, they would have been A, off duty, and B, it didn't even happen on the school grounds. All right, put up the picture full mass. Hazelwood School District Attorney Cindy Reeves Ormsby addressed his claims in a March 26 letter and accused him of conducting an incomplete investigation, you don't say, DA, and spouting falsehoods. What? He spouted falsehoods. You mean to tell me that the diversity, equity, and inclusion mantra was not the reason that this happened? It's unbelievable that the damn DA has to say this, okay? That he was spouting falsehoods for his own political agenda, according to the district attorney. Bailey pointed the finger at local media for the errors in the statements. KSDK noted the reports he cited in his letter come from years ago. Ormsby nevertheless questioned in her response, do you value white student safety more than black student safety? Question mark. The takedown continued. Do you honestly believe, again, without any official verification or specific knowledge, that the fight on March 8th was a result of a racial issue between the female students that was caused by the HSD belief and the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion for all? Do you represent all citizens of Missouri or only the white citizens? Question mark. Per KSDK, district employees have been met with backlash and threats since Bailey's statements. Ormsby said they are looking into pursuing legal action. The district is looking at all its options here. It's not backing down, she said. We're looking at whether or not we'll file an ethics complaint. And you should, you got to, because this guy put people in danger. Quote, I believe his most egregious error in his original letter to the school district was to jump to the conclusion that the fight between the two high school females was based on race. Ormsby told the outlet, the mother of the accused attacker is also concerned the incident is flaring up racial divisions and political strife. Let's go to Missouri's NAACP conference president. We have Nimrod Chappell. Also issued a statement calling out Bailey's lack of response when black students face discrimination on campus, some even killed. Chappell wrote, Bailey's blind eye to racism when the victim is black is telling, but the use of the investigative power in his office to lift the harm suffered by a Caucasian student while ignoring the black victims is nothing short of Jim Crow, end quote. This is a mess, right? So you have two children. Obviously, their lives are completely transformed, changed adversely because of this action that likely had a serious cause and effect that did not get remedied at either the administrative level or perhaps in the peer-to-peer level, whatever it may be. That is a discussion for that school system to have and for those parents to have. Naturally, if there's criminality, there has to be accountability, but we understand that they are juveniles and juveniles make immature decisions. I know I made many of them as a juvenile myself. But then the AG coming out saying we're going to charge as an adult or insinuating this. The heavy-handedness of it all is simply red meat. Once again, utilizing a child for your political pawn. And then blaming the entire thing on diversity, equity, and inclusion, not understanding the genesis of the actual conflict because you chose not to do a real investigation, but to simply rely on your bias and do an interview on a national news network without vetting anything. I do hope they file not only a complaint against you and your office, but the private citizens that you have adversely impacted by your careless comments. So you're not immune from them having charge against you in civil penalty. I do hope they exercise their full rights. Mr. Mayor, thoughts here?
Yeah, listen, there's a couple things at play. I mean, we downsize the fact that there's contemporaneous information, notes, complaints written by this 15-year-old that she was being bullied.
Yep.
She was being bullied. And because she's Black and people want to, demonize her in this manner. I don't know if you noticed or not, the Attorney General in his statement said this criminal needs to be charged as an adult. It's inhumane. If you keep listening how they're trying to otherize this young lady and make her something other than human, it is traditional white speak. And for him, he's not wrong in his thinking and the way that people that see the world, the way that he see the world. It is DEI that is responsible for this because his definition of DEI is integration. And we keep missing that. He's saying the quiet part out loud. His definition of DEI is integration. And the world should be where white people don't have to spend their time in the same spaces as Black folk. Unless Black folk, of course, are serving them in those spaces. And as you said, these are two young folk. What we didn't mention, what always happens with white people, happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, who went across state lines with a long gun and killed people because he was threatened, even though he went across state lines to kill people. Is that this young Black woman has no history, no criminal history. And we should know that anyway, because if she did, or any behavior history, it would have been all over the news. What we do know is that she's an honor student and an athlete that was bullied because she said this before the accident happened. So none of that will be played or considered because of her skin color. And the tragedy is America is comfortable with doing what's about to happen to this young Black lady.
Yeah. That's why we have to continue to shine light in places of darkness. All right, we'll bring you updates as they come. Hell of a thing. Once again, 3 Black males convicted, 25 years, convicted of murder. They never did it. Overturned, put up the picture full mass. What did it take this time? Pennsylvania. After over 3 decades of injustice, a judge has now overturned the convictions of 3 falsely imprisoned men, Derek Chappell and first cousins Morton Johnson and Sam Gracey were convicted as teenagers in 1997 for the alleged murder of a 70-year-old woman, despite none of their DNA matching evidence found at the scene. The 3 defendants, all local children of the victim's neighborhood, were accused of badly beating and then sexually assaulting the woman. Police report states the woman, Henrietta Nickens' home was ransacked, her underwear removed, and there was bodily fluid, blood, etc. on the walls and bedding. In a statement from Gracey's lawyer, quote, "This case never should have been prosecuted. These guys never should have been charged. The evidence always was that they were innocent," end quote. The Delaware County District Attorney, Jack Stahlsteimer, previously pushed back, saying none of the evidence found at the home would likely reverse the outcome of the verdicts. According to the district attorney, last July, quote, "Just because there is an absence of DNA of a defendant at a crime scene doesn't mean they are innocent." I think people who watch too much CSI or TV don't quite understand that people can commit vile acts and not leave DNA at the scene. Sir, we're talking about children and a horrifically violent crime. For children to commit this kind of violence and create this level of carnage and not leave as much as a skin sample, saliva, get a cut. You say they sexually assaulted. Where's the semen? These are children. There's more. Castellero, the attorney, also called for the prosecution's various theories of the case, called the preposterous, saying, quote, to explain the lack of a DNA match. He said they argued that the victim perhaps, get this now, perhaps had consensual sex before the slaying. Or that the three defendants brought a used condom to the scene. We're talking about children, okay? He said, yet Nickens was chronically ill and had no known male partners. He continued, quote, they just ran this absurd story and got jurors to buy it, the lawyer said. So they come up with all these ridiculous theories to say, well, the reason why there's no DNA is because possibly they did A, B, and C. And you have to fault the judge here for allowing such a ridiculous proposition to even be made. It does not fit the realm of possibility, let alone probability. All three men, now in their early 40s, all three filed pro se petitions in federal court over the years saying they were wrongly convicted, always denied. They continued to file. Finally, they got their day. Their conviction has been righteously overturned. Once again, we've reported on these stories many times at Indisputable. Do you think we are reporting on every time a fix occurs? Of course not. Could it be that a lot of folk who say, hey, I'm innocent, actually are? Could it be that we have just closed our ears off because it's easier to go on with our lives and act as if we no longer hear them because they are absent from society as we understand society? These are our brothers and sisters in this race known as humanity. And if they're able and willing and vicious enough to do it to them, please believe me, you are not immune when they are ready to do it to you. Mayor Mondale, thoughts?
Yeah, Doc, even if they don't do it to us or someone related to us or the proverbial you, when it happens to anybody, it's happening to all of us, right? Yeah. The tragedy is in my state of North Carolina alone, I think at one point, 30% of the people that were freed from death row that were wrongly convicted were Black people, or maybe it was even a higher number. And it's just my thought that one person being killed for something they didn't do, it's too horrendous to consider that these young men were convicted the year I graduated from high school, and they're just being released now. That means my entire adult life, everything that made me known for who I am, has been wiped away from them. The possibility of them ever having a normal life is absolutely impossible. The harm of 25 years in America's criminal justice system is not easily erased with freedom.
That's right.
You don't fix that loss of being convicted in your mind and in people's eyes for 25 plus years just by letting someone go. This is the problem. This is the problem with this so-called criminal justice system. It breaks people and continues to break them even when they let them go. I am sad because the Central Park Five, these three young men in Pennsylvania or any state in the union, we see and saw Black men being hung, hang, and continue executed by a system that does not give a damn about their humanity.
Well said, and that's why we have to. And I'm thankful for people like yourself, Mayor, who continue to serve with your compass pointed toward people. We got more on the other side. It's Indisputable. Stick and stay.
I'm wearing one of our pieces of merchandise. So the funny thing about the Dragon Squad, and that's what our viewers call themselves. That's the name of the group, but every individual chooses their own name. You might have Cincinnati Dragon. You might have Harry Potter Dragon. We have a Grandma Sunshine Dragon is one of those that I remember. These are people that like to have an element of themselves, their lives, what's significant to them reflected as a part of the community. But the concept of the Dragon Squad is just something I threw away as a joke. I was mocking the Proud Boys, these like right-wing groups that come up with a name for themselves that they think is cool, but it's actually really lame. And I thought, off the top of my head, I can come up with something that's still kind of lame, but much cooler. And so I threw out Dragon Squad, and I just moved on with my life. But everybody liked it, and so they kept it going, and so we've embraced it. And I think again, this was during the period of the pandemic. I think it was sort of nice to have a renewed sense of community, a feeling that you're a part of something when everything seems so chaotic. And as a result of that, we've got independent artists online streaming, making beautiful digital art of dragons. We've got, we've released a number of pieces of merchandise that people love sending us photos of them. And then, by the way, for me personally, people send me, like you can probably see in the background, like a knitted dragon someone sent me. There's a dragon book they sent me, dragon board games they send me. People have done like custom ironworks, making dragon bottle openers. Like the fans are super invested in diamond art and things like that. And so it's great that they send this stuff. Sometime we're gonna have to set up a wall of all of it. But yeah, it's definitely brought the community a lot closer together. The fact that we were no longer in this big studio, I felt a lot more personally attached to people. It felt very immediate. And I know that I personally needed the connection.
All right, welcome back. A lot of show left, kind of. Let me read a few of these comments. Don't have a lot of time, but thank you for joining. Mongoose Dragon, A.G. Bale is a real piece of work here in Missouri. He's straight up Trumper in this very red Trump state. What a jerk. We concur. All right, what if I told you a firefighter, a first responder, a person that understands how to give first aid, understands some medical dynamics with the human body, understands human physiology. Well, he decides to kill his wife, blames it on a seizure, tries to cover it up. Put up the picture full mask. Hell of a story, a lot of zigs and zags here. Washington State, Kevin West is his name. The fire department chief who called 911 in January, saying that his wife was having a seizure, is now facing murder charges in connection with her death. West had worked for the Camas Shugel, fire department for 22 years. Just before 4:30 a.m., January 8th, West called 911 saying that his wife was having a seizure and that his wife was no longer breathing and that he was trying to be the hero and perform CPR. The Clark County Sheriff's Office said in the release, medics performed life-saving measures on her, but they were unable to resuscitate her, the Sheriff's Office said. In the days after Marcy West, his wife, died, multiple people started to contact local authorities with, quote, concerns about Kevin and Marcy's potential relationship issues and worries that her death may not have been natural. The Sheriff's Office said, when the autopsy revealed, quote, indications of trauma to Marcy West's neck, the Sheriff's Office said authorities launched a criminal investigation. On March 20th, the medical examiner determined that Marcy West's cause of death was asphyxia and blunt trauma to the neck. The manner of death was, in fact, homicide, meaning somebody else caused it, not a seizure. Detectives learned that West and his wife were alone at the residence at the time of her death. Through their investigation, detectives learned that Kevin and Marcy were experiencing marital and financial problems. The Sheriff's Office said in the release, based on a comparison of interviews with Kevin and the evidence found at the house and contained in Kevin and Marcy's cell phones, it appears that Kevin had given detectives contradictory statements. West had planned to, quote, end things with Marcy West or move out of their home by January 8th, the day she died. Senior deputy prosecuting attorney for Clark County, Jessica Smith, told the court, according to KGW8 News. In court, Kevin West's attorney, Brian Walker, admitted that his client was cheating on his wife on January 23rd, 2 weeks after his wife, Marcy West, 48, died. West was having drinks with his girlfriend when detectives came to question him, the affidavit shows, the Columbia Report. According to the affidavit, detectives discovered 2 love letters in West's garage that he wrote his girlfriend, the Columbian reports. Quote, 2024 will be our year, end quote. He wrote this. According to the affidavit, quote, we will be together celebrating every day with love and understanding of what it means for you and I to be together. Our story will ring in the new year loud for all to hear, end quote. West was arrested on Friday, charged with first-degree murder. He is being held on a $1.5 million bond. He has not yet entered a plea. Put up the picture again, okay? So the irony of this is that there would not have been a criminal investigation if multiple members of the family did not contact law enforcement and say, listen, there's some there. There's something happening here. And then a criminal investigation was launched. He may have either A, been able to get away with it, or B, been able to explain it away once the autopsy came out. Oh, no. I mean, that happened when she fell, or whatever it may be. But the fact that there were people that understood the context better than investigators. And I highlight this because when you know something, say something. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to contact law enforcement when something like this happens, if you know something they don't know. We've been able to report on crimes that were uncovered because of friends and family members who contacted law enforcement. Mayor Mundell, this guy took advantage seemingly of his knowledge of human anatomy and his privilege with law enforcement because he's a firefighter.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, and this is also the reason I say that our community is broken, because you made a great point. If you see something, say something. Also, knowledge and context matters in criminal cases. But there's no trust with the political system, or I should say the policing system and our communities. Therefore, a lot of our crimes go untouched or unsolved because of this. So, yeah, I mean, this is tragedy when you see people using and using what skills they have that are supposed to be for the benefit of public use or public of the publicity in large, for the benefit of murder and criminal. Why not just get a divorce?
Man, wow, yeah. All right, very sad. Okay, high school student being used as target practice. Yeah, teachers allowed it, tried to cover it up. But there's a recording. So let's get into it. Put up the picture full mass. So there's a school in South Carolina. A mother has now filed a lawsuit against a South Carolina school district and 3 high school employees who allegedly tried to suppress her daughter's complaint of racial discrimination. This is a hell of a story. This incident allegedly happened at Green C. Floyd's High School. Miss Crystal Dozier sued the Horry County School District on behalf of her 17-year-old daughter for racial discrimination, harassment, defamation, and retaliation. There's a basis for the complaint. Principal Nick Harris, Assistant Principal Mary Price, and English teacher Kristen Webster are all named in the suit, and there's good reason. According to the complaint, the discrimination started when Dozier's daughter wanted to join the school's tennis team last summer. However, her request to join was never answered by Coach Webster, who served as the team's tennis coach. All of the team's members at the time were white females. Dozier's daughter is a black female. When Dozier, the mother, interceded, Coach Webster then permitted her daughter to join the team. However, Coach Webster, according to the suit, allowed all the other girls to use Dozier's daughter as target practice throughout each day's practice, according to the complaint. On August 25th, 2023, Dozier's daughter approached Coach Webster to complain that she was being racially discriminated against. Coach Webster tabled the discussion for later that day, and then invited the assistant principal, Mary Price, and a student of Indian descent with similar complaints to the meeting. During that meeting, Coach Webster allegedly, quote, got argumentative with Dozier's daughter and then berated her, disregarded her concerns of race discrimination, attempted to stifle her complaints, and verbally assaulted her, end quote. The complaint states Dozier later, this is the mother, later met with Price and Principal Nick Harris after her daughter called her to the school. Both Price and Harris claimed her daughter, Miss Dozier's daughter, had been, quote, aggressive and violent during their earlier meeting. Oh my goodness, no ma'am, Miss Dozier, your daughter was out of line, out of control. She was violent, she was aggressive. There are 3 upstanding adults who can attest to this, okay? Now, here's the kicker. Price and Harris also attempted to stifle all complaints of race discrimination and prevent Dozier and her daughter from making any complaints to the district, stating they do not allow any race discrimination complaints and that they do not see race at Green C. Floyd's High School. How in the hell can you not allow complaints about racism and say, I don't see race at the same time? But that's exactly what happened according to the report. There's more. What Price and Harris did not know is that Dozier's daughter was well trained. And Dozier's daughter had recorded the earlier meeting. The meeting she had with Coach Webster and Price, in which Price claimed that Dozier's daughter had been aggressive and violent. When her mother approached the assistant principal about those defamatory statements and acknowledged that there's a recording of what happened, Price immediately admitted her deception and apologized. In September, Ms. Dozier wrote a letter to the Horry County School District and the school board to complain of racial discrimination. After the letter was sent, Dozier's daughter started getting bullied at school, not just by pupils, but by teachers. When she reported the bullying to Price, the assistant principal allowed the bullying to continue according to the suit. Her daughter had to, quote, endure walking down the hallways of the school with teachers saying, quote, shame on her for having made complaints of racial discrimination. A district official later performed an investigation and determined there was bias, but that Coach Webster did not know any better, end quote. That's literally conclusive in the investigation. No conclusions were given in the lawsuit about Price's or Harris's behavior. Dozier withdrew her daughter from the school January 2024. Thank God the suit seeks a jury trial to determine damages and remedial action for the emotional distress of Dozier's daughter. And I hope they get every single penny and all justice that's due to them. To Ms. Dozier, remarkable job standing up for your daughter. To your daughter, remarkable job for listening to your mother. You knew good and damn well if you're going to have a sit-down meeting with these 3 adults that you need to go ahead and hit that record button on your phone. Good for you. Good for you. Because you got to think about how insane this is. These adults literally conspired against a child in order to protect their ass. These are supposed to be advocates for children. They're trained advocates for children. And they literally tried to conspire against a baby. All right. Mayor Mundell.
Where the RICO charges at? I mean, how many black kids in the school district have been labeled aggressive and violent by these same people? Let's rehash all of those, because what we witnessed right here is they were willing to, one, ruin this child's feeling about tennis as an entire sport, tear her down, allow her to be used as target practice. And we just had a case now in Missouri, a few states away from this state, where a Black child now is being criminally targeted for murder if this other child would have died, because she was bullied.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do something about this. We have to stand up. This is absolutely systemic. This is not a bad apple situation.
That's right. And I'm glad they got every single one of them on record. All right, we'll bring you updates as they come. I got a question for you. What in the red state hell? Yep. Put it up full mask. That's the new greeting now. If you happen to startle a white female on a porch, I'm not OJ. I mean, she laughed so hard she damn near fell down. Okay. I mean, that's a real laugh. Look at that. I'm sorry. I'm not OJ. The mail carrier even replied to the video. I'm your mail carrier. We went viral. And then she says, did you get my letter? I put it in the mailbox today. I'm like, what's going on now? Like, what's happening? Okay, what letter are you talking about? Why you put this on social media? Inbox me. A few days later, one TikTok user said, did you have a love relationship? And Kate replied, I'm happily married. And the mailman, Brandiff, has been married for 12 years. But since this video, we have met and are friends. We're good for you all. And I'm glad you all understand each other's marital situation. All right, Mr. Mayor, thoughts here.
I think she just admitted she committed a federal offense. Did you get my letter? I put it in the mailbox. I hope it had an address and a stamp on it. No, this is beautiful. This is a good outcome to something that could have been tragic.
That's right. And I'm glad everybody's a good sport about it. All right, dear brother, always a pleasure having you on the program. Tell people how they can follow you and check out your amazing work.
Yeah, Monday Robinson on all social media platforms. And I'm also producing over at Rebel HQ.
Thank you, my friend. Until next time. All right. Remember, take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of the planet. Remember, the truth is always indisputable.